I feel like the conventional wisdom is the opposite of that, even though I 1,000% agree with you. And I remember the conventional wisdom in 2008 being that.
Yeah,
oh, this is going to hurt the party, and all this rift, and the Pumas. Remember, everybody was covering all this, all this craziness. And I remember everybody I knew was like yelling at each other in bars. Everyone was arguing about this. You couldn't have a conversation that wasn't about Hillary and Barack. And I think that what it ended up bearing out is exactly what you said. It was good for the party. It was good for registration. But
which is why Republicans changed their rules, right, to lengthen this process.
Right. That's exactly right. But do you think that conventional wisdom has sort of bubbled up? Because my sense is that the sort of people in the center of the levers of power of the Republican establishment, the Karl Roves and such, do not want to see a drawn-out battle.
Right.
They want to see Romney essentially wrap this up and move on to attacking the president every day. And Ed Schultz said, I think it was Ed said earlier on our air tonight, look, this is another week where Romney cannot pivot to being a total general election
especially because there's something humiliating about the way this is going down for Romney, right? It's not really a fight. It's just a kind of desperate series of lunges for any alternative. It's a farce. If Romney, if he has feelings, he must actually be really hurt by all this.
If you look at the Obama-Clinton fight, there was two very passionate sides here. And it's almost the sort of
there isn't that same
antithetically, there's almost like just two sides of real ambivalence that are coming together.
Except for Paul.
Except for Ron Paul, who's the only, I think, candidate on the Republican field who's bringing in new voters. But again, those are not new voters who I think are going to stick around for Mitt Romney or Rick Santorum, particularly as they go after Paul on stuff like Empire.
We hope you will stick around as well. We'll be right back.
Guess who took Coldies at the first sign of her cold?
Next time, try Coldies.
Oh, thanks. I will.
Stop the cold, not just the symptoms. Coldies, the #1 pharmacist-recommended zinc cold remedy, releases zinc ions, which stop the cold virus's ability to reproduce. Now in great-tasting oral spray, too.
Coldies is clinically shown to stop your cold. I guarantee it.
Go online to learn more. Stop the cold, not just the symptoms.
So we were dining right on the beach at this incredible Caribbean resort when I noticed that big smile on her face and thought, I must be a genius. And now she can't stop talking about the tropical fish and the friendly service and how she'd never stayed in a room with a pool attached. All right, so I had a great idea. I guess I'm not a genius. Okay, I'm a genius.
Book now, save up to 65%. Call 1-800-SANDALS.
Hello? Hey, handsome.
The McCann twins for Consumer Cellular.
Where are you?
On the street.
I got a new cell phone from Consumer Cellular.
They're all the same.
Not true.
They're complicated, but expensive. Long-term contracts, cancellation fees.
Will you stop? My plan is just $10 a month.
$10 a month? Really?
Call or log on to ConsumerCellularTV.com now for simple, no-contract plans starting at $10 a month.
I didn't have to sign a contract. There are no cancellation fees. And I even got a free phone.
Sign up now and get a free phone. Choose a full-featured Motorola or Nokia phone. Or if you prefer, you can get a simple-to-use model with big buttons and a large screen.
Where's the catch? This isn't one of those prepaid plans?
Consumer Cellular is the real deal. Monthly billing. Great service. And that's not all.
Consumer Cellular is the exclusive wireless provider for AARP members, so you can be sure quality and service are top-notch.
And when were you going to tell me about this?
Try Consumer Cellular for 30 days or 30 minutes, risk-free. If you're not 100% satisfied, return the phone for a full refund. And pay nothing for the time you were on.
Let's call and get your free phone.
Call or go to ConsumerCellularTV.com now for no-contract plans starting at $10 a month, a free phone, and a 100% risk-free money-back guarantee. Shipping is free, and you can keep your current number. AARP members ask about your special discounts and benefits.
My first call.
Hello? Hey, ugly.
Call 1-888-477-2751 or log on to ConsumerCellularTV.com.
That's 1-888-477-2751. 1-888-477-2751.
With 99% of the vote in the Iowa GOP caucus, Rick Santorum with 29,968 votes, Mitt Romney 29,964, trailing by 4 votes. If that sounds familiar, it's because it is. It's been in that holding pattern for a little bit here. AP said earlier last hour that an announcement would be imminent. I was surprised. One of the most surprising things that happened tonight, I thought, was Rick Perry's speech. Rick Perry, let's take a moment for Rick Perry. Let's pour a little out for Rick Perry. Rick Perry, let's recall, entered as he was the favorite. On paper, he seemed the perfect person to play the role of the anti-Mitt Romney, of the person to unite the Tea Party and the establishment. There's a long article in the New York Times about all the big money backers, the Rangers and Pioneers and big money Republican bundlers who'd lined up behind Rick Perry. He had never lost a single election. I remember reading reports from Texas journalists and even talking to Jim Hightower, a man who Rick Perry beat in an election for agricultural commissioner of the state of Texas. Do not underestimate this guy. He's a better politician than you think. Don't be a Yankee snob and think just because he has this sort of down-home cadence that he's gonna fall flat on his face. He fell flat on his face, and tonight I believe he came in 5th. He came in 5th. I think after Newt Gingrich. The order went Rick Santorum, Mitt Romney, Ron Paul.
You think Rick Santorum?
Right, as of now, Rick Santorum, Mitt Romney, Ron Paul, Newt Gingrich, and in 5th, Rick Perry. And here's Rick Perry making what I thought was a surprising, not quite announcement in his speech tonight.
I've decided to return to Texas, assess the results of tonight's caucus, determine whether there is a path forward for myself in this race. I believe that this is the greatest nation on the face of the earth. You've made every minute of this worth it for ourselves. And with a little prayer and reflection, I'm going to decide the best path forward. But I want to tell you, there has been no greater joy in my life than to be able to share with the people of Iowa and of this country that there is a model to take this country forward, and it is in the great state of Texas.
All right, we're getting word that an announcement of the actual definitive winner in Iowa is very, very imminent, actually, in the next few minutes. But what I thought was so great about that Rick Perry speech, first of all, was the long pause at one moment where you thought, oh, is he doing the thing again, where he forgot what he wanted to say, and of course recalled why he is in the shape that he is in. Ramesh, were you surprised by and I don't want to write an early obituary for the Rick Perry candidacy because Lord knows anything could happen in politics, and people wrote obituaries early for John McCain's candidacy, and they wrote early obituaries for Hillary Clinton's candidacy. Let us not forget, particularly in the wake of Iowa.
Yeah, but let us not compare either of those people.
Yes, I agree. I'm just trying to not be overly, I don't want to be too hubristic here about my ability of prediction. I think it's safe to say at this point his campaign has not gone well, and the fact that he said he's reassessing, which really sort of, it's hard to come back after you give a speech saying, I'm canceling my campaign events, I'm going home to reassess, and I've assessed.
10%. That's great.
Yeah, exactly.
It occurs to me that was really good.
Were you surprised by the scale of the epicness that was Rick Perry's flameout in the early part of this campaign?
When he jumped in August, he seemed to be a very serious contender, and to reach the point now where he wins fewer counties than Gary Bauer won in the year 2000 is really an amazing thing. He was not able to navigate his way from being a great candidate on paper to being a great candidate in reality, just as he wasn't able to navigate his way from the beginning of a point to the end of one.
Right.
And I think this is actually a really positive thing for American democracy because, despite all the anti-intellectualism of the Republican Party, despite people loving, George Bush's bad grammar and malapropisms, you can be too stupid to succeed as a presidential candidate. I mean, there really is such a thing as too ignorant, even in a party that often celebrates its refusal to, to buy into the truths of modern science.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I Stupid is I get uncomfortable. We call people stupid and dumb because I think it's such a loaded term. I think we don't know how smart people are. But in terms of his facility and his manifest knowledge of and command of the issues, it was so severely lacking that it was painful to watch. What's that? Of national issues.
Anytime he talked about national issue, when he was most credible was he just made it a Texas issue. He was like he was running for president of Texas.
He didn't know what Lawrence versus Texas was.
Right. I mean, this is so much shocking. That is, of course, a Supreme Court decision that declared that the anti-sodomy laws in the state of Texas were unconstitutional. 5-4 decision, Anthony Kennedy.
Right, which came down while he was governor.
Which came down while he was governor.
Well, you know, I mean, I like this point about, you know, potentially this is good for democracy, just in general, that we have. I mean, look, 2008 again was bizarro year in terms of sort of what it did to the Republican primary, the kinds of people that could end up being front runners, and the fact that you don't have a Southern evangelical sort of down-home boy as the front runner is pretty stunning. I mean, it's pretty surprising that no character like that emerges in 2012.
The podium you're seeing there on your screen is a podium from which an official announcement will be made about the winner of tonight's GOP Iowa.
Rick Perry is actually going to deliver that.
Rick Perry's
he's
Gingrich, frankly and profoundly, will come out.
I think Perry's problem was not so much that he was stupid or not smart. I think the problem is that the Republican base is looking for someone who can verbally spar with President Obama.
And right now, here is the announcement.
What a night. Thanks for hanging in there with us. First and foremost, my name's Matt Strawn, chairman of the Republican Party here in Iowa. And one thing, even at this late hour, that I'm excited about is that Iowa Republicans had a record turnout for the 2012 Republican Iowa caucuses, with 122,255 Iowans turning out to vote as Republicans tonight to start the process to replace Barack Obama. And I want to thank all my staff. I want to thank the volunteers, because remember, the precinct leaders, these 1,774 leaders, are all volunteers giving of their time. And of course, a couple of those we had to chase down here in the wee hours to get those final precincts in. And the good news is we're able to verify the vote reports tonight. The great thing about the caucus process, every step of the way, campaign officials have the opportunity to not only observe the counting, but reserve the reporting and verifying all the way from right there in the precinct itself, all the way up into the tabulation center, where each presidential campaign had a senior staff person who was able to observe and verify the results. And everyone should know, within party rules, each county has 2 weeks to send the certified Form E with the results from each precinct in their county to Republican headquarters. So within 2 weeks, the Republican Party of Iowa will have the final certified results of the Iowa caucuses. But I can report, with 1,770 precincts reporting, Governor Mitt Romney received 30,015 votes. Senator Rick Santorum received 30,007 votes. Congratulations to Governor Mitt Romney, winner of the 2012 Iowa caucuses. Congratulations to Senator Santorum for a very close second-place finish in an excellent race here. And congratulations to Congressman Paul and all the other candidates who competed in the 2012 Iowa caucuses. Thank you very much, and have a good night. The final turnout number was...
All right, Mitt Romney, the apparent winner in the GOP caucus, pulling out a very, 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 very narrow win deep into the night by about 8 votes, I believe that's the announcement coming just now. Now, of course, it should be noted, no delegates are awarded tonight. This is a caucus procedure. The caucus procedure means that you elect local representatives who then go to the state convention, and at the state convention, those delegates will be apportioned. But Mitt Romney does win, it appears, the GOP caucus in Iowa. 25% of the vote, 29,964 votes. I don't think that's right, because Santorum is
30,015.
Yeah, 30,015. That sounds more like it. Mitt Romney, there are 25 delegates at stake in Iowa. Mitt Romney is the winner, eking out over Rick Santorum. You know, obviously, he's up by 11 votes at this hour. He's the apparent winner. You know, at this point, I see, that's 11 delegates, I see. At this point, you know, whether one won or not, I don't think matters a ton in terms of how these results are interpreted. But if you're Mitt Romney, it's always better to win than not win. And I believe since we've had the 1-2 Iowa caucus, New Hampshire punch, there hasn't been anyone that has won both. Who not obviously